Good afternoon, guys. I wanted to hop on early as I'm sure a lot of people are seeing this 30-minute divergence and they might be thinking some interesting things going into tomorrow. Just remember one thing about this, and we're going to continue to say this throughout this stream. We have made the new high, and we have not seen the reason for this to break down just yet, even though this is a signal outside of this. You have to understand that we have options expiration tomorrow. So this will have to show us the bearish, yeah, it'll have to show us the bearish way down by giving up a lot of this move before we can overall get bearish on it, right? This is probably what's to come next week, by the way. Like the reason you're seeing this stuff now is I think this stuff is coming. I think this is coming for sure. I don't want to say for sure. I'd say high probability for us to see a pretty decent sized pullback next week, like pretty freaking decent. Unless all these deals come through and we start to see that. And we're going to talk about those things on Saturday's video. And I'm sorry if the stream is, someone's got to make sure this stream's okay. I know it's got a theory for us. I like it. Um, on Saturday, we're going to talk about potential for if we see something a little bit crazier because we do have those deals on Monday. I'm still leaning towards sell off. My probabilities are telling me sell off on sometime next week. Sometime next week. But I just can't shake the feeling how strong this is right now. I mean, we're not even through the center point, but I kind of wanted to talk about if we keep going and we get past that center point. And we'll talk about that more on Saturday. Okay, so make sure you're subscribed for Saturday's video. We're going to go over some macro stuff, but I still do believe that there could be a massive trap forming going into options expiration. The reason that I went live just a little bit sooner was I've been looking at this price action all day, by the way. The reason I wanted to get off of the live show early, not necessarily early, but I did go to 15 over what I normally do. The reason I wanted to do that was so I could just sit, be quiet, focus for a bit, see how this thing's behaving, see the new high form, and then say, okay, now we see how we're going higher. We kind of close the door to anything down here. So I wanted to look for that next opportunity because it's very unlikely that today they're just going to ramp and like run it to 595. It's more likely that we do some fooling around in this type of area, maybe to go retest something, right? We just made that big zone. Okay, awesome. Now we break out of the zone. What would we like to do is tap into it, right? Look how that ends up at the end of the day today. And then we can start to, move slowly up throughout Friday. And I think this takes you all the way into options expiry, like the actual like end of day or the last hour of the day. Um, but we'll have to see how it shapes up, right? We don't know that for sure. We need to understand, like, hey, this can do whatever it wants to. I mean, look at today. It does not want to give you a great buying opportunity as people are really attuned to take calls. And we can see that from the CPC and the PCC. So what I'm really watching is as we tap into this zone, anywhere in here, we can find support with it, and it can happen down at these lower levels as well. It's just as you get to those lower levels, it starts to get like a little bit more worrisome, right? A little bit less percentage. So the main thing though is even if you're holding up in the bottom of the zone, you just don't want to show that breakdown through it because that starts to say, hey, we can use this as resistance. So for the time being, I'm paying attention to this area, especially if you see something like 587 and we see the turnaround kind of signs there. That would be a great, great thing. That might be the only degen trade that you have left. I am not going to be taking the degen trade. That is not necessarily something that I'm attuned to. If I was looking at some, I think it was Apple. Apple might be finishing this up right now. Yeah, Apple might be retesting these lows to see if it can really just signal a higher low here. Yeah, that looks to be the case for the time being. The reason Apple is good is, I mean, I want you to look at this trend. I mean, bam, bam, bam. If you can solidify right now and start to see that slowly come up, you see how Friday we would just see that positivity come in. And the target for Apple is still potentially even 217.50. So I'm going to double check targets for Apple real quick. Okay. Oh, yeah, 216, 217 for Apple would be the best point to get to for tomorrow. And it's dipping down. So you're looking for the signs. If this is going to curl back up, you are retesting into here. You have beaten the high from this move so far. So if you can signal, hey, we are getting a higher low, then you can go make that new high, take this out. And then you're going to see that you're kind of just going to see this pretty much throughout all day tomorrow. You shouldn't see some kind of big like type thing. It should be that kind of slow, like over here. It should be this slow, boring, slow, boring, slow, boring. And then I think you're walking yourself off the boat, right? I think you're walking yourself off the plank. For the time being, we have tapped into the first part of the zone, and we are seeing some support come in. If you guys want, we can look at 5-minute charts again today. We see that the 5-minute is overall positive. But what have we done recently that could be a signal we still want to reach down a little bit lower? Well, we have taken a little bit of this thing out, right? We came out. This would be your only real 5-minute higher low. Okay, so that can go up to here. Then we do this. We come up to here again, right? That box. Come up, reject. And then maybe hold up somewhere in this type of area would be very, very nice. But the key thing why I came on early was just because of the 30-minute divergence. I know that people will ask me about it. This is not in bearish context at all. This is not when those 30-minute divergences have a great payout rate. Why? Well, if you've taken the course, you understand that we are below 20. We are below 20, right? We talk about this specifically in the course. We talk about volatility, and we talk about the fact that it works. 30-minute divergence specifically actually works much better in high volatility. This means that if you do see some kind of sell here, it will most likely be quick because you're still very much so on trend. So that would more so tell us, okay, this can add up to a pullback down into here. It still adds up to here and here. And then if you lose that, you're looking for the bounce. And then this is saying, hey, we're actually going down. That's how I see it for the time being. Right now, we are seeing that support come in. If you guys want to check on some 5-minute charts here, see if we get that rejection right here in case you want to be G-Gens. I get it. I'm not going to D-Gen this thing. I think we could react all the way up into 590 again, if not a little bit higher, but I'm looking at 590 kind of on the dot. Right here, 590 on the dot, right in this type of area. And I'm seeing if we can reject one more time and then see if we can turn that back around. It can just continue to melt up, though. You have tapped into the zone, right? So this is it trying to use this area as support. All right, let me read through chat, see who's shown up today. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Has anyone seen this? I mean, for the last like 2 days, Streamlabs, I use Streamlabs. It's been awful. It has been absolutely terrible. I don't know if anyone else out there, anyone that tries to make anything has experienced some difficulty, but I've had to do my sneaky tricks to get it to work every single day. Well, not every single day. The last like 3 days. Sucks. I can't have the setup I want to during these streams the last few days, and it's very annoying. I did want to talk about one that I think is interesting, and that's actually Amazon. Amazon dipped back into this zone. It kind of gave up too much, in my opinion, right? But it did come down to the second area we're paying attention to. I thought that was very interesting. And you look at this, and this is kind of leaning towards what? A lower high. But that means we could take care of gap. You could come all the way up into like 213 and then see that start to give that lower high. That would take you, maybe you do just keep melting it. 1, 2, 3. And then we would see that flop maybe giving some kind of divergence up here. I don't know. I wanted your guys' ideas on Amazon. I thought this one was interesting because it's dipped more than others. NVIDIA did not hold on the dip, right? Hey, there's that fun account. Losing that, losing that money to give me that 4th play in a row is too much. It's too good. So we had to do something stupid. Thankful for the fun account, though. Kiss the degen out, manage the trade. You're done. You don't have to lose all the money on that. You know, that's an easy manage the trade there. Right, 30-minute curls down. Okay, anytime the 15-minute curls up, it's going against you. Okay, we're using this tiny block in here. We're not even getting down to there. Now you're seeing a bunch of divergence, which it just tells you, like, if I'm seeing all this stuff and I'm looking at NVIDIA, it just tells me, like, hey, why am I going to sit there and, you know, risk a bunch of money when we could see a flop for, like, this? Because that seems to me to be the only amount that you could really get. Maybe like 138. I think 140 might even be a stretch at that point. I know the highest it can get is like 145. But yeah, I just wanted to suggest here, right? You don't have to do this little tiny play, you know? This is a win. And as far as position goes, that's a win. Yeah. Shane, thanks for you. UNH goes up on EMA, signs of reversal. I don't think it has signs of reversal at all. UNH, I don't think it has signs of reversal at all. Well, at least when I looked at it this morning. I mean, you have 30 minutes. You could get a reaction here to test 5-day, but you have a lot of work to do. This is not necessarily one of those zones that I'm paying attention. I mean, you can pay attention to the center. It's always good to pay attention to the center. It got down to that line. That's great. Like almost right to it. That's great. That's where support should come in. So that's fantastic. This is why we're talking about it with investing. As far as options goes, I mean, you can see a snapback at any time, but you haven't seen a snapback at all during this move, right? This should be specifically looked at as investing. I do not see any. I mean, unless you're like good at kind of, you know, fading the downward move, scalping something, I just don't see any reason for this to pop, except for retests. Except for retests, right? We'll take the entire thing. We'll do the entire thing here. We'll take that full day. Yeah, retest. Look at that 5 days lion. So yeah, you could see some kind of snap, but I don't get why people choose to do such risky things. I don't get it personally. Too risky, too risky. All right, we're coming up above 590. That's actually really good. Oh my goodness, that's really good. You can still reject from anywhere in here. I believe the market is being artificially inflated. I think so too, Noah, at this point. The way that this is moving looks just all algorithmic. They are letting retail participate in this too, which tells you something. I think it tells you something. It tells you they want to test something. What do they want to test? I don't think this zone's correct. I need to take a double check, but like that maybe. I think I want to include this. Yeah, that seems more likely. What do they want to test? It looks like they want to test like right on what if they get to that 595. Okay, they might want to do this. They might want to be testing this soon. In here. This is the clump they're trying to test. It's just where are they trying to test that? Are they testing the upper end? The wick? It's somewhere in there. It's hard to see. Yeah, so because this is so algorithmic, I think it's very difficult to bet against it. I get it. If I was betting against this, I would have month out options. At least 2 weeks. Yeah, this is just touching back into here. Yeah, that we really did crazy things for NVIDIA. Yeah, you did good stuff for NVIDIA. Holy crap. That might be it for NVIDIA. That might be it. It might start just going up now. I think you have the opportunity to dip down lower though. You never tested fully into here again. You have one chance here, I think. If we're gonna go up into Opex, then I think you have one chance right here. You do this right now, get those calls in, show them something ugly. Ooh, timing might be bad there. There, here, and then you start to explode. And you just see a little bit today, and then you see that continue tomorrow. That's what I see. This is still all extremely bullish context, though. We're running into where it's just like, hey, it's a win's a win, right? We're running into like the trade is completely done. If we hit 595, and I'm still skeptical about 595, I'm still looking at 591.79, right? I'm still looking at that. I'm looking at tomorrow's daily expected move. If we hit 595, yeah, this is so done. It's insane. Even if it goes up past there, I don't think you want to take that gamble. I think you'd rather let other people push it up and still just wait for the daily pullback wherever they're trying to get to. I don't know if they're trying to, I think crazy, but if they push this thing to like 600 or early next week, I can't fathom a time where it's still good to hold on to calls at that point. Yeah, everyone's asking about UNH. It's in a buy zone. I mean, it's in a accumulation zone, right? It's in a good area for investment. That's it. I'm not talking about UNH anymore. Yeah, I'm not talking about UNH. You're talking about a stock that's plummeted. If you were looking at it before and you were thinking about buying it and now it's much cheaper, what's changed on the investment side? If you're going to do options, I think you're just throwing money at the wall and hoping you get a bounce, and I think you can get a bounce, but I don't have much to go off of there. Which if you don't if I'm looking at a stock and I'm trying to take a trade and all I see is down, 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 and I'm not good at, doing the things you need to do during those oversold conditions, I'm not quick with it. You can probably find a quick little trade. There's a 30-minute RSI divergence. You could catch a bounce to the 5-day, but look how mean that thing is going to the downside. That's the opposite of shorting a short squeeze, right? That is longing a crash. That is the knife catch. Can you get a bounce? Yes, you can always get a bounce, but you trying to dictate where that bounce is going to happen. I mean, you can do your research. We tagged that center line for it, right? We tagged one of these. Hey, maybe you get a reaction to at least the top. It's a pretty big zone. Maybe you're going to go for that retest, and I think you'll get a retest, but it's just, maybe it's just hard for my brain because we think about money differently. Because I look at a thing like that and I just go, I ain't touching that. Unless that was an investment thing, I ain't touching that. I don't like the leveraged ETFs for calls or puts. I don't like leveraged ETFs too often. The only leveraged ETF I ever do calls on or puts on is UVXY. If I'm taking a trade, I'm taking it with, if I'm taking like an indice, I'm just doing straight up SPY, straight up Qs, straight up IWM. I've been just doing the SPY lately. Throughout this entire run, just been trading the SPY. That's why I'm glad I did the fun account with NVIDIA, because I would have ruined all those profits. So no, the reason for that is just because there's decay in the stock, theta reasons. Like, it's just, you don't want to make it harder to make money. You can be right. Your timing just has to be spot on. Okay. Jagger, you can be right with those. You just want to have the best timing and give yourself plenty of time. Even if you're planning on only holding it for a day, buy a week, buy 2 weeks. Even if you're only planning on holding it for 3 days, buy 2 weeks, right? Give yourself that time. Yeah, just be prepared to hold through potential for a Friday move. Even if you see this, it's not bad, right? We see it, right? You see the structure. Once you read into price action enough, you'll start to be like, oh, I see the structure too, right? And you saw this. What? We lost that low, just barely lost the low, right? So we opened the door for this to turn down. It doesn't have to because we tapped into the zone at least. But breaking the low makes you, as a shorter term trader on a 5-minute like we're looking at it now, I'm not a day trader, by the way. I am not. Position guy. I'm looking for the position possibly on Friday. But for this, it's like you start to realize, okay, now I can see the structure. Okay, now this is going to come down, and I'm going to see a 30-minute divergence probably confirmed strongly, right? This is not a good confirmation. First of all, if anyone's going to ask me about 30-minute divergence here, you need to understand this is not a good confirmation. This is a bad confirmation. Soon you might get a good confirmation. And we'll still be talking about that in bullish context. And I would say, you can take it, but if the 15-minute rotates up, you better be ready to react because this thing can go wham. 2 hour hasn't even, still no 2 hour cross down. You think we formed the double bottom? Just had support line spike from October to November lows into January. We're testing that line now. Do you think that's a valid line of resistance? I don't believe in wait, hold on. Support line of SPY from October, November lows to January low. We're tested that line now. I don't believe in using just a diagonal line. I don't believe in this. I think people are full of shit. I think those people online, there's some chick online that I always see that says this, and I think she's full of shit. I'm being honest, but I'm, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she knows, more about her strategy than I do, right? Because all I did is watch a video and I used my douchey, judgmental self. So I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, she has to be horrible. But a lot of people online make these YouTube shorts or TikToks or whatever, and they'll say, okay, and then when it comes down to here, you just buy it. In order for a good trend line, you need 3 touches most of the time, right? And so you don't even know if that's a good area. What is much better to pay attention to instead of diagonals? You can still use diagonals, right? We draw up diagonals all the time, right? We could draw up diagonals and see that trend changing, see this trend changing, right? You can see it. But it's if you just have that under your belt as a skill, I don't think you're going to be able to be successful like easily because trends change all the time, right? You see this broken all the time. Right? And it still goes up. I think we just broke a macro trend, didn't we? Maybe not. Yeah, we just broke it. Look at that, you broke it. Oh, the trend's changing. The trend's changing. No, it's not. It's not changing. And guess and you close and you pretty much saw like it almost close outside of that too. Right? But it is good to keep on your radar. What you're more so looking for is more information. Right? I would say more so using this as a point of reference, saying, okay, if I want to gamble on it, I can, right? If I have more info, if I see 30-minute divergence, that's the more important thing, right? We talk about the weekly and monthly expected moves. Is it, hey, we tagged a monthly expected move and now we go down forever? No, it's you tag a monthly expected move and then you see if you get the formation of weakness and then that weakness is confirmed. So what did we see down here? Well, one, this dotted line was higher up, right? It was like this, I think, right? And so we saw that. I believe it was even higher than that, actually. I'll have to go look at previous videos for it, but it was like this. Where's the 30-minute? Because if I remember correctly, we had the dotted 95% line. We had that like right here. If I'm not remembering incorrectly, that was last month. And so it could be a good opportunity, right? But there's not a lot of data and you're always going to come back to retest. Why is this such good price action? Well, let's go through it before we get into power hour, okay? Let's go through this so we can really learn about like trend lines and what's more important. You see the trend line. What's more important there, because this won't happen all the time, is what do you see here, right? So right off the bat, we see from our indicators, right? Okay, divergence on the RSI. We see it, very obvious. Everything we pay attention to, 95% line was right in here. So we know that we're in a critical area where people can make silly decisions of going short, betting on the crash still, while it looks very crashy. Once it looks crashy, it's already crashed. Once it looks like a recession scare, like a correction, it's already corrected. So for this, it's more about what am I seeing around that? Well, I'm seeing my dotted line. Okay, awesome. So that gives me a little bit more data. I see divergence. Okay, awesome. So that gives me a little bit more data, like hard price action indicator data, not just a line, right? Not just a trend line. The other thing is the price action here. I want you to really look at this price action seriously. And sometimes it will be more like this, right? And I want you to look at what happened. I want you to look at what happened here. You broke down, you created the low. Yeah, you saw that sporadic move. I'm not really counting that, but then you create this high, you dip down, you go make a higher point. So you break out of all of this and you come back down to retest it. And what do you not do here? Why is this very, very good? You did not show that we were going to go, even with a wick. Sometimes you'll see a wick like this and then you'll get the move and then that move will fail. That's the tricky ones, right? This is a very good lesson. We're going to do more of this in the full technical analysis course, by the way. We'll probably use this section, so you guys are getting a little peek into it right now. So this price action is very, very good. Why? We never showed how we wanted to possibly go lower by creating some kind of wick down here or a close down here. Close down here would be even worse. You tap down to where? The middle. You figured your shit out. And then you did what? You confirmed the divergences. All your other skills come into play now. And you go, yes, that's what I want. Do you see how nothing about that was the trend line? Absolutely nothing about that was the trend line. Even though it looks like the trend line called it, it looks like it in this scenario. It's important to understand this is just one tiny piece of data. These are the more... Is in the course, someone who took the course, is in the course, is trendline one of my 5 reasons to take a trade? No, it's not. Trendline is never one of my 5 reasons to take a trade. It's what is happening at the trend line. What is happening at the trend line? That is what is important. That's why I didn't even draw this. I don't care about this because this is going to tell me everything I need to know. This is going to tell me what I need to know. 5 days is going to tell me. My indicators are going to tell me. My price action practice is going to tell me. That's all good stuff. Okay? So I'm not hating on trend lines at all. I think they are useful for direction and things like that, but to utilize them as just a strategy, you can literally see a trend line broken, that trend goes down for a second, then you just go right back into that trend. How many times have you seen that? Tons of times. Tons and tons of times. We've seen it constantly. This is a bullish freaking market for like what? Over 100 years? That's wrong. That is incorrect. This is divergence. This is incorrect, and this is fine. This is fine, okay? Divergence is measured by what? Find your low point first. Boom. There's your divergence point, really, according to your RSI. There's your divergence point is up here, actually. Your next divergence point, right? And if you want to go with crossings and things like that, okay. Like still, the big thing is the lows. You're paying attention to the lows though, right? Where's the lowest closing bar over here? It's right here. Where is the lowest closing bar over here? It's right here. Is that down? Let's see. Well, it's a price point of 493.61. This is a price point of 493.16. Divergence. It is measured by the closing bar, by the closing. The closing is the top of the green, the bottom of the red, right? This is divergence. And this is the best way for divergence to tell you that something good is here because it's not willing to wick below that and show you some way lower. This is price action. This is price action. All of it. It's great. We didn't go as in depth there in the past, right? We didn't go as in depth there because it's simple. It doesn't have to be that complex at that point, right? And hopefully, if you're a part of this community, you were during the live show. Hopefully, you caught that trade. Hopefully, you did on Patreon at least, right? Because Patreon, we posted it like 20 minutes before it popped off. You got 20 minutes before you confirmed. 15 minutes later, it's popping off. So about 35 minutes. Yeah. I counted the green hammerish bar next to it. Exactly, Jeff. And that's why I wasn't like trying to hate or anything like that. I think it's a good thing for people to see. I think it's very good. So thank you for actually making us clarify that, because it's important for people to, especially new people, to understand divergences are created with the closing bar. Why? I want you to click on your indicator. Go to inputs, source, close, close. Go to your indicator, source, close, right? So if I'm sitting there looking at wicks and making up divergences and things like that, this is divergence right now. But it's in serious bullish context. You're not above 20. Best trade of the year. That's right, Chris. I know Chris caught it. Hey, Sebastian, thank you so much for the 2. Some theory? Or are you saying same theory? I stayed out after the short to see what would play out and was looking to carefully at the hammer. Yeah, sometimes it looks, it's hard during those times because your fight or flight is maybe going off during those times, right? Hey, Ruben, thank you so much for subscribing. Ruben, what a time to subscribe, because that was like, that's some of the best like learning material you'll probably see on YouTube, is just that moment right there. It explains a ton about how, like, retests, moves, divergence, the 95% line. It literally is like everything. That trade right there, by the way, had more than 5 reasons, and I could count them out for you. Maybe we'll do that in the course. That's why I posted it, right? Now, the reason I posted the NVIDIA thing, right, is because of what? I was posting this more as a way to say, this is a great time to take profit. That's why I was posting NVIDIA for the most part. I was like, look at this move. You have, like, we had the lines up over on Patreon. Like, this is a fantastic move. It can continue up to like 145. But that would be the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life. I'm being very serious about that. That's the actual blow off type moment. And if you blow off from here, if you do not correct in any way, if you do not retrace this move in any way over the next 3 weeks, in any way, yeah, you cannot fail. That's my opinion, because that seems like major bait. Not master, but major. So we'll get into that on Saturday. We'll talk about that more on Saturday. Let's get into that 5-minute as we're seeing that rejection come in. Wow. This is good. Still in that downward direction for now. Showed the way lower. The only thing that can save this is tap up higher into the zone and go up. If you tap down lower, you can still have a chance anywhere in here. Down below this low, we're looking for it to reverse back up. So if we're going to get that Opex squeeze. Oh, god dang it. I keep clicking into here. I can't see the chat. Nice job, Pitching Academy. Good job. Thanks. First time listening to you and find it very insightful. Well, stick around, Ruben, okay? Because we're just getting started. If this is your first time here, man, we've got a lot to get through. Yeah, stick around, buddy. All right. Yeah, just note here that we could see the run up into 5. Once again, that line, right? We have the data point for it, 596. But am I willing to hold calls over the weekend after seeing this stretch out all the way to here? I'm not, man. I'm not. Even if we explode higher and Trump gives good news on India on Monday, I ain't doing it. I might just, and I don't know. I'll think about shorting it. No, Opex doesn't always have to mean squeeze. Doesn't always. They can sit price if they want to. They can just sit it, theta burn the hell out of you on Opex, and then show the move on Monday. They could have shown the move today and wiped you out. Like, they could have shown the move today, gone sideways on Friday, theta burn, and then dropped the market after building liquidity all Friday long. That could have happened. Opex for me is more leaning towards like Wall Street targets, algorithms, Wall Street. Well, I guess algorithms would also be tilted towards what's it called? Market makers. So yeah, you might be right on that actually. Yeah, I mean, we can do. This is the last time I'll do it. This is the last time I'll do it, guys. Because if you're not seeing this, you're just not able to see it, and that's a bummer. You might want to look at like investing, and that's me, just my wholehearted opinion. Because if you can't see that this is crossed up right there, you can't see that's green. That's green. This bar is above the 9. Close. You can't see that the closings were here, and this point is lower, meaning this is going down. You can't see that this is going up. You can't see that this is going up. Then 30-minute time frame, 2-hour time frame, and maybe even daily time frame aren't for you because you're going to see this stuff all the time. You had perfect confirmation. This is literally perfect confirmation right here. Perfect. We talked about it on Patreon throughout this, and then this started to build. It was posted. Then this confirmed. I try to notify you before confirmations. I'm not trying to give you trade setups. I'm just showing you something that likes to see a big move as a learning experience. That happened. You cannot you can disagree with it. You can disagree with it. But we made money on the move. So disagree all you want, you know? Like we can disagree, but at the end of the day what matters is like did you make money off the move or not? Bro, I don't see how we just pointed out a MACD was crossing up and it was green. And the bar it was crossing up on was green. I do not maybe you need to send me a picture or something of what you're seeing, but I literally do not see anything wrong with that play at all. I wouldn't have posted it if I did. I wouldn't have posted it if I did. Just genuine. I do not post things that I don't think are something to learn from that could show you how price reacts when those things happen. I'm reading chat too much. Reading chat too much. If you don't have the brain for it, you don't have the brain for it. We'll talk about it. We'll look at other options for you to potentially learn that stuff. But yeah, there's just absolutely nothing wrong with that setup at all. No real drama. Just you know, I can't even explain why I'm talking about that move so much. I can't even explain it. It was so simple. I can't. You had like 8 reasons. we only cover Wolf now. Yeah, we only cover Wolf. Wolfie boy, what are you doing? Yeah, those are. Ooh. No. 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 I mean, this move saved it for now. This move got you back into here, but you drop your zone, it's probably not looking pretty. High to the low points. Yeah, that doesn't look pretty to me yet. You see more. It's trying. It's positive, right? But this looks like boom, flag, boom again. Test the lows, then see what happens. Maybe fill gap. Wolfie boy might struggle. It kind of is in that patience. Look which direction it chooses. All right, maybe that's all we'll get. No, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. It's just, yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah, it's gonna struggle. They're gonna file for bankruptcy. Well, and the only reason I'm digging at you a little bit is because You're looking at a super positive thing and telling everyone in chat that it's wrong. That's the only reason, right? That's the only reason. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. Sorry, bud. I told you guys I'd be blunt these days. Told you guys that yesterday. I'm going to be pretty blunt with price action and things like that. I do not think you are stupid. I think you just might have saw things a little incorrectly at that time, and that's unfortunate because it was like one of the best. It was the best trade of 2025, unless you count this one. Actually, now this one's the best trade of 2025. Well, if you had the resolve, right? I said kudos to you in the video last night. If you had the resolve to see like 2 hour crossed up, and you just said, "Yeah, we're gonna blow through this. Yeah, I'm not gonna sell during this consolidation. I still see the price action as good," which you did, and then you just keep going. Holy crap! If you were able to hold through all of that, you deserve a cookie. You deserve a cookie. That's for sure. For sure, dog. Because I had to do it last. Had to see one per week. Yeah, Richard. I have nothing to YOLO with. I don't know what to load my I have nothing to load my boat. Unfortunate. What are you thinking? You're probably like a 6 month to a year. You're probably buying like year options or something. Why is people talking about GME? I mean, AMC is positive. I'll look on my other screen. I don't think it's worth pulling up right now. Oh, AMC. That one's positive. What's GME doing? Ah, yes. Tapping back into the center of our zone. Perfect. That's actually really good. Another price action one. Bam. We did not form the actually, yeah, we formed it the best we could. Bam. Now you hope that never turns around. I'm just gonna be honest. Yeah. Now you're going. If you want the squeeze, you want that to not turn around at 29.54. Maybe the blow off squeeze will happen here. We just go extremely bullish. I'm gonna hesitate. I'm gonna hesitate to short on Friday. I will most likely be hesitating because that's too good of a look. Not shorting GME, by the way, but wow. Nice little tag. All right, now we're looking. Now we kind of just look bullish all the way into Friday close. I don't know if you have time to spike down to 587. Let me read this. I'll try to bars. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking if we do this. I'm looking if we go get that tomorrow. I think it's possible. Probable. The way I'm seeing it too is like, I don't think it's like the safest thing in the world, but I would have actually. All right, you're still not showing you can go higher than here yet. Well, a lot of people don't know if they consider Opex like a top because sometimes you'll go retest it even if you see like a 2-hour drop. So if you see a 2-hour drop after Opex, you can literally go see this, and then you can see a drop, and then you can go retest it. Right? So the top doesn't have to be directly on Opex. It could be there, right? You create the nice little M, you break down below this. So that's why this move is this is one of the most irrational moves I've ever seen. Just so you know. Didn't make the path higher. 587 still open, by the way. Oh, man. Let's see. Damn, people are bullish. Yeah, a little fake out. Oh, no, I think Wall Street is in this move. Yeah, I've thought it the whole time. I do think that they're potentially selling the move at these highs. Yeah, I think we'll fill a gap. I don't know about next week. We have to see. You have to see if this continues on Monday with that potential news on Monday. So that's the only thing that's worrisome about taking a short. So if I do it, I'll do a smaller position size. But that's the worrisome thing is apparently you have like Trump India deal news possible, or at least being shouted out for Monday in my chat. I haven't looked into that at all. If that did take place, you would have to consider that being a good thing, right? You just got a China deal, right? Or a China, you got a UK deal, and then the de-escalation from China. That was all great for the market, right? You're seeing the market up do crazy things right now. If you get another deal to come through, you can get even more crazy things. My question is that being priced in now? Won't happen for a week or so since India contradicted him. I didn't see. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about it. How's it not the week? An amazing week of trading. It's been a like pretty crazy week. I mean, I know you're thinking it's not, but you have to understand you are seeing one of the craziest weeks you've ever experienced in the last like I would say since 2022. So you do not see these type of moves often. Yeah, GME looks good. I was looking at it on the 30-minute over here. It's trying to cross up and go positive. You're just hoping it doesn't fail the top. You kind of treat those initial tops as zones as well. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a good sign. You do not. I wouldn't turn down. Don't turn it down. They should pull back. Pulling back is fine. If you want to hold up now, see, this is why 5 minutes are tough because you're going for the test here after breaking the low. So you open the door to the roll. But also, you like to test these lows. And if that tests that low on the 1 minute and turns up, you're continuing. Yeah. So it's a back and forth game all the time. This is why day traders take a move, right? Or take a short, sell the short. They're not trying to catch like wham all the time. They're just looking for that little 10-minute, 15-minute trade. I don't think I see a lot of day traders who like hold something for all day. They usually are like selling it within an hour from what I've seen. It kind of is, isn't it, Inept Owl? It's just crashing. I think someone said they're being investigated by the DOJ, Willow. Let me go look at some stuff here. Let's go look at some other guys. A lot of people looking at Palantir. I don't like that from Palantir. On the 30-minute, I do not like that from Palantir. Is this going to be an Opex flop? There's no way. Palantir looks like it might flop here. Maybe I'm just convincing myself. I do like Palantir. I'd pay attention to that Divergence. Palantir was at the weekly, not outside of any monthly yet. So not seeing something too crazy. Oh, come on, get me back to chat here. So I can look at some other stocks and read you guys. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon's still showing little bits of pathways down, but just going really sideways. P&C is extremely low, yes. But if it's in Wall Street's best interest or the market maker's best interest to pump it, then that's fine. Robert. Yeah. You got a lot of things red over here. You have literally like all of it. But the SPY, what the heck did someone call it the other day? Yeah, I do see that as interesting. I mean, if you're looking at weeklies, yeah, we'll look at those on Saturday. But yeah, it is interesting. It means like you don't have probably the best confirmation, but your price action's confirming it. And then if you get a nice retrace, that's what I'm saying though. You get a nice retrace there. It's a good thing. The important part is the week closing above this high. I know it's a daily chart, but the most important thing is just being able to take this out for now, because it means you're pretty set on at least trying to come up to here. I keep changing this. I need to take a serious look at that, but there's just too much. I didn't think we would get all the way to there that fast. I thought we'd get here, just not in the way we did. I thought it would be a little bit more volatile. Like up, down, up, down, up. Kind of like this, but instead we just go full squeeze. AMD, you're pretty much looking for one more push higher for every stock. It like really seems that way, or at least the ones that I watch. I think AMD, if this is negative, hold on. Okay, it's not negative yet, so you have a chance still to go all-time high. Or all-time high. God, I forgot it's AMD. AMD is at like all-time lows. You still have the chance to make a high here, but one thing you want to consider with AMD is um, it could give you the good divergence that tells you reversal. Okay, so look if AMD say sees positivity, right, and then stops here before taking out this wick. That'll tell you that downtrend for AMD could be coming next week. So you'd have to create the lower high, not show the way higher, and then lose this previous low right here. But nothing's curled up yet. Except for the SPY keeps curling up, curling down. Bad confirmations, no good confirmations here yet. It does not want to give it to you. It doesn't want to give you the 587, it looks like. It's going to try to hold up in here on like a 1 minute chart. I'm guessing on 1 minute chart you're seeing a positive trend, and that positive trend is going to try to continue by the center line. That's what I'm guessing. Oh, so close. Little negative. Little bit negative. So that means you always have the chance. You always have the chance. I don't know if they'll give you this. Yeah, I can't wait till this market chills out. We can go back to just 30-minute charts. Makes me think Banker may have a sense of humor. Can we look at the 30-second? Let's look at a 30-second. I don't think I've ever like looked at a 30-second chart. Yeah, screw that. Yeah, why'd you make me do that? You're toxic. Toxic masculinity, Richard. And thank you, Laws, for the 5. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. Okay, seriously, I don't even use. I only use Snapchat to talk to my friends in Japan, and it keeps sending me notifications of people who I might want to add as a friend. I have 6 friends for a reason. I do not want to Snapchat at all. Where's my notifications? Okay, turn off, turn off. No, no, no. All right, now I have I ended up just ticking every single box. This is why I got rid of Snapchat like 2 years ago. I only got it back because my friends moved to Japan. It's freaking annoying. Oh, that's got to be the most annoying thing about being young these days. You don't even exchange phone numbers. You guys don't talk. You guys don't know what it's like to fight your older sister about having the phone to talk to a girl who actually wants to talk to you for once. You don't know that life. Must be big in Japan. No, their phones just didn't work right in Japan, like their American numbers. The Japanese number I had, it started not to work either. So they just ran into problems, and I was like, let's just solve this. We'll get like Snapchat. We could do WhatsApp. I've never done WhatsApp. Allison's laughing. Allison knows what's up. We're at an interesting spot here. Yeah, well, have you guys? Who in here has never heard a dial tone, or the big scratchy, eeky sounds you hear when you turn on the internet? It didn't work, or they're ignoring your text. They're my best friends. Okay, we don't. You don't ignore your bestie's text unless it's. I don't think I've ever ignored one of my best friends' texts personally. These best friends. Thanks for going over the spy divergence. I appreciate you clarifying that wig. I appreciate that, Jeff. And I think I was just with what's been going on in the market, it's a lot to work on. There's a lot of possibilities here. So I'm not trying to pick a fight, anything like that. I think I was probably just misunderstanding Kyle, and I think that was the big issue. So I apologize. I think we were talking about slightly similar but slightly different things. Oh, dude, my yeah. I mean, your mom listening in on your phone calls, dude. I used to listen in on my sister's phone calls. No, not a ton of drama. It really wasn't that bad. Um, Qs are negative now. Oh yeah, okay. Qs look. We should have been looking at the Qs. Let's see. Yep. Where could the Qs get to here? There. This would be nice. About 517. 517. Available to go lower, right? Can go lower, but if it holds up in here, that's even better. Actually, let's watch the Qs. We haven't watched the Qs a lot here. Don't you wish we got down to here? That'd been nice. The actual pullback. Yeah, this is actually going to turn into Fight Club this weekend. Yes, my meta puts finally. Ooh, meta might not participate tomorrow, or you'll see something cheeky. Kem just put it out there. Primal, if you want to read just above your comment there. Bro, I was never into the mosh pits, but very nice. Hold up anywhere in here. And then the target for the Qs. The target for the Qs tomorrow, as I believe it's seen already craziness, correct? Yeah, you've already seen it. Qs, you should be sitting pretty if you held throughout this entire move. You should have known what's up at 520. Let's see here. I believe we have the monthly of 514. That means the Qs could see an absolute mega thing. We'll look at daily expected moves for tomorrow, but if this wants to go mega here, I know it's crazy. Actually, let's look at the daily because that number's too crazy. Okay, Qs are probably getting to there. Okay, 525. Yeah, that's just there's too much of a crazy level for tomorrow to give you guys. So I would say 525. Yeah, 525 looks pretty nice. Let's see if we get that support to come in for the Qs as they're closer. See what happens here. This is the last degen attempt. Do they sell it into the close? That's the question. All right, let me pull up chat again. Keep my eye on some stuff over here. You're still in bullish context. You haven't seen any kind of pathway down. That's the unfortunate part. I wish it was that case. Normally it would, but the environment's a little different here. You're still in squeeze just before Opex. You're still in squeeze before Opex. Unless you are losing this low like today or early tomorrow, then you're pretty much looking at something like 525. Well, it can be delayed, Dave. And Dave, the thing is, you always talk about that blow off. That is possible in these scenarios. That is a possibility. Okay. All right, Bruce is having a good time over here. And Bruce is having too good of a time over here. Like way too good of a time. Break in the center for the Qs. Maybe it's for the SPY to dip down lower. 20. Okay. I still think SPY could get down to here. Overreaction wouldn't be a terrible thing. Overreaction now to test in this would not be a terrible thing, you know, anywhere in here, but you're mainly looking at where's a lot of that joined up right in here. That'd be great. But anywhere up here is the most bullish. Down here, you start to get a little bit like, ooh, skeptical. That's where the risk is higher, but the reward could be insane if you actually see the ramp in Opex. I still think it's a big possibility. Actually, I think it's a very good probability. I will say that, especially with the Qs getting to where they're at, the SPY holding where it's at right now. We haven't seen anything bearish yet. I'm hoping that Dave's not 100% correct, because he is correct to point out 590, 591, 5900 for SPX. It is a crazy level to get past. Microsoft is its own thing right now. It's just squeezing and squeezing, isn't it? Microsoft on the 30-minute squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. Terrible signals for Microsoft right now. This one's risky, but it is a squeeze. So you need to see it go down. You need to see a low broken. So see this broken, and then probably tomorrow you'll see something like this, and then it'll fail. And then you'll keep breaking these things all the way down to here. From the 2-hour perspective, weirdly enough, I don't think you want to see this now. I don't know if you want to see that, because that's going to shoot you negative, which if that ramps up, that's a big-ass drop. Yeah, this is where we'll go over the Saturday video, but yeah, I'm not like inclined to be like, oh yeah, Microsoft looks great for a buy right now. I think if you're a day trader, you're still liking the trend overall. You're just waiting to see, hey, do we hold up right here, literally where we're at, like right now? Do we hold up right there and then turn for one more push into Opex? But Microsoft has some risks there. Let's look at levels. Did we tag 450? Yes. Are we tagging 450 right now? Yes. So we are trying to turn 450 into support right now. Let's see if it's successful. Monthly wise, it has plenty of room to go. Second standard deviation wise, Microsoft. That was meta. I actually clicked on Microsoft. I'm sorry. Did I say 550, 450? To the upside, I'll just give you this for tomorrow, and we'll put out daily expected moves and second standard deviations tonight for Patreon. Okay, Patreon members, and then also for you guys live right now, if you see Microsoft, if you're gonna have the balls to hold call it, look at its hold, it's trying. It needs to hold there. You don't want to see the way lower. That adds more bearishness. You can wipe it out, but it's just not a good thing to see. I would be marking off 460 flat. If you see this at any point tomorrow, that is your take your money and run line. That's what that is. That's 460. Very nice. Here we go. We did still open the door to more downside. We need to now see the way higher by taking at least this out. If not, by end of day, I don't think you want to see this taken out again. I don't think you want to see this taken out today. I'd rather see that in the morning. Just take this out, maybe show this in the morning, and then start to ramp. And it should be pretty slow. It should seem a lot like this. Just very kind of like up and down, but still in the upward direction. As people are like continuing to take profit, take profit, take profit, take profit. And what I'm saying for it, Dave, by the way, just shouting out Dave again with the 590 comment. What I'm saying is the trap's right above 590 to make you feel all safe and fuzzy on the inside. And there is no guarantee, because a lot of, I would say Wall Street analysts don't want you to turn down right now. They want to see this surge to go as bullish as possible, test all-time high, or get above all-time high, back off, and go again. That's what I think a lot of real big bulls want. I think you are more likely to test the center of this zone now, by the way. Especially if we get all the way to 495, I think the center of that zone makes more sense, because this would be that'd be too much. If that's happening, it starts to open doors. So we'll talk about that on Saturday, though. Let's dig in. All right, we're seeing good stuff. Let's see the cues, how they're reacting around the center. Let's see if this is going to matter. It should. Let me get back to chat real quick. Sorry, guys. I have a different system here today, okay? So don't chop my head off. We just need we just need Kramer to like say something, anything. I'll look at Hood over here. We're just focusing on the SPY just a little bit. Hood, in order to go bearish, you need to see... Weirdly enough, it's a long path. Let me look at the 2 hour. Okay, Hood could continue the move. From the look right now, Hood could continue the move. You're holding up just above the previous low at like 57. Very close there. Very choppy. Very tough. And you're seeing that rolling type behavior. But if that MACD is able to cross up, you get confirmation. You don't see a sell at 62.37 for Hood, then you're kind of back on the bull side, at least for a day. If you roll and start to lose 57, if you start to lose 57, it starts to become much more risky for Hood. Like I said, this is nickel and diamond. This is pennies, right? So if you choose to play this, just know it's going to be like, it might take all day tomorrow. And two, if it ends up not happening, you have to understand, like, this is not something that I really like to participate in. I might participate in the Qs just to have some exposed, like 10 little contracts or something for tomorrow for like 522. Because that's the area, that's the take a chance area for the Qs. The SPY's not quite there yet, but if the Qs hold up better, you're looking for the SPY anywhere in here, and look, it's holding up. So all you're looking for is this to get taken out, and that starts to get a lot better. SPY puts we'll look at tomorrow, end of day, if I can do a live show. Fridays are usually a day I try to do family stuff. I will try my best to show up for the last hour of the day tomorrow. So for the SPY, you might be done with downside. SPY's trick. I think the Qs are more so suggesting like, hey, we're going to make an attempt. The way you know that it's getting better is you got to see the upside move like this. So hopefully you see that into end of day. Hopefully you just see up into end of day. And people talk about it like it's a trap, and you see it make the new high right here. Take out the downtrend for the time being. That would be best case. The market, a lot of the time, these days, gaps, right? Gaps. So you're not seeing a lot of those hints. These days, you have, I would say for the past, like, I would say going all the way back to like 2020, I would go all the way back to 2020 and say, I would say the last 5 years or so, you've started to see more cheeky things in the market, like way cheekier. AKA, they're not really showing you the pathway. They only did it like once a few weeks ago. I remember we caught it once, but other than that, you're not necessarily being shown the pathway higher. You're getting gaps. News dump. I don't think it's like terrible if the position size is very manageable. If it's not going to ruin your weekend. 10 contracts is about it was about $900. It's just for tomorrow, and I'm reaching up to 522 for the Qs. That is it's bigger than a hedge position, technically. Exactly, Christopher. That's why it's like, ugh, a big bet, huh? Yeah, it's literally for tomorrow. I'm degenning. I told you guys I wanted to kind of maybe degen this, so I'm doing Qs 522. But I'm using a pretty damn small position, you know. This is about 3 times smaller than what I had for this move to here. I like my position small. I know that the market will continue to run, and if I'm watching it all the time, then I will get plenty of trades. I don't have to risk a bunch of money. Expiration is tomorrow. I think Nvidia puts, if you're doing puts, you're looking a month out in case we get blow off top. I think you have to be giving yourself the amount of time to react, because you could see good news, like Christopher. Christopher just said it. You could literally see a deal on Monday, and then we don't know if that's priced in or not. Yeah, Richard, I didn't get my YOLO this week, so I gotta make sure to I gotta make sure to really YOLO at this time for my degenness. But my fun account has a jinx on it, so okay, my live stream just went away. Give me a second here. I can't read chat. Okay, now it's back. Sorry guys, chat went away for a sec. This will probably end up being the play where if it doesn't work out, it just convinces me to not do the degen plays at all anymore. That's all right, Joseph. That literally could have gone in the opposite direction today. It literally was that one was a coin flip. There was no reason besides being like, oh, it's down low, let it go lower. It's not very good reason for a trade. I think you're practicing better behavior by staying out of a UNH trade down there. Hey, yeah, so if you got the risk to reward for it, those are always different. Yeah, but if that was easy, you would have, if it was obvious, it's it's not very obvious. You might convince yourself it was. I've looked at UNH like 10 times over the last 2 streams. It's not obvious. But like we've been talking about it more on the investment side. Hello, Bernie. Yeah, so don't beat yourself over something that, you're going to miss out on an opportunity like now. Sick. Let's go. Looking good, looking good. Pull up the charts, pull up the charts. Yeah, so I got into the play for Qs right here at that line, pretty much. It's about 900 bucks. That one's all pumped. Hmm. I just think UNH is going through its own thing. That money can be redistributed somewhere, but might just go into another stock in the same sector that maybe has a small pullback. I don't know. Or maybe people are yellowing at highs. $500%, Chris. That's what's up. How? Yeah, but I hope it was like $10,000 because that'd be sick. I hope you did 100,000. Yeah. See, people are mentioning XLV. Damn, damn. We don't want to see that rejection for the Qs. I hope it doesn't reject continually. They might have to test this low again. Your little 1 minute guys. Your 1 minute guy. No, you're kind of doing the things you need to do. If you can hold here, you go uh, 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 uh. The only thing you could do is take care of business down here. Looks good. Really? Did it happen? Did USO flop? I guess we were looking at US oil, right? Wait, that confirmed days ago though. That confirmed days ago. Yeah, that confirmed here. And this is the block, right? Now you're retesting into here, into the top. 2-hour divergence. 4-hour pullback. Testing into where? Trying to make the next higher low. That's what it's trying to do. Bink. 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 See the consolidation here. See the support there. Oh, that looks good too. Not bad. All right, once again, divergence, you still needed to take this out. You're still going to need to take this out, retest, then take out the center, retest, right? It's all about retesting from here. All right, what minute are we on? Oh, by the way, get those seconds out of here. Get those out of get the hell in the car. Do we get the sell into the close? That would be interesting. The SPY haven't tested the center. $522. Yeah, pretty much, Matthew. I think we'll hit 5. So the reason for 522 is because I think we'll get to 525. So my goal for the trade is by afternoon, see like 522 to 523, either sell out, leave runners till end of the day, or sell completely and just enjoy it. Just going for like a big increase in value kind of thing. Yeah, it's not too complex, right? It's just like it is what it is. Now, Amazon, on the other hand, I keep looking at it because that's such an interesting gap reversal. Wonder if that just goes and fills gap and fades from 210. Yeah, this is a unique time, though. You have Opex, you have an extremely bullish trend. Everyone's kind of feeling bullish, so you're trying to ride that wave just for one last time. And you didn't hit the target yet, so it's still possible. I'm not going to try to do like SPY to 595. I think that is freaking, whoo. I think that can happen, but My goodness, that is. I know it doesn't seem too far off, but like you look at the charts right now and you're just like, geez. I think the reason I like the Qs was because they came down to the center point. You've given up more of the move. And then I'll look for the signs, right? If this is going to reverse back down, right? If we make some kind of upward move like this, and maybe we get a little lip on the end, right? Well, actually, maybe it's worse than that. You get this, and then we start to do this. I'll be just done. I just won't be in the move. I'll be out here. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess around with it. It's looking good though. Looking real good. Need some water. Yeah, we're not gonna be doing these 5 minutes all the time, guys. Because I don't think you need to really like to make good decisions. I don't think you have to look at a 5 minute, a 1 minute chart. I think you can know everything from 30 minute, 2 hour, and daily chart. Really, it's just during this time you're in a unique time during Opex, during the squeeze, during all this, where the 30 minute can trick you, like it is probably doing right now to a lot of people. Right, rejection, divergence. But you have to understand the environment. We can flop the move, but we need to see the way down. We don't see the way down. It's going to look really bad. Remember how it's been irrational? Remember how this looked really overbought? Irrational. Not pulling back, just go sideways and up. Irrational. Not pulling back, but going sideways down and then right back up at the low point. Irrational. You're in that irrational time, that's all. This is why we've said, like, for what, a week and a half now, just like shorting is rough. I'm not gonna lie, Josh. I ignored theta in the move completely. I just grabbed it when it went down there. If I get theta burn tomorrow, that's my fault because I didn't check. I literally did not even check. It is not my it is not my best trading behavior with this type of play. I'm doing irrational behavior behind the play, but the move should be irrational. So if I get theta burned, that's on me. Because I think you're going to see an initial push. That initial push could be like now, but then I think it'll just drag out and you'll see little chops. I think it'll look a lot like over like this. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I think. I think it'll look like this. If I'm right. Because right now we're tapping into the previous zone. We could reject here, start to break the low. Everything could be bad by the end of the day. And all I would do is take my risk out and let the market do what the market wants to do. If it wants to squeeze, I miss out on the squeeze if I'm not comfortable with it. Pretty much if it shows me another pathway lower, especially by end of day, since we only have 9 minutes, if we see another pathway lower, I might just invalidate everything and just be like, all right, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not trying to ruin my weekend. We had a great trade. It happened, I sold all of it on like Monday, but it's still a great trade. Buy side imbalance, 3 billion on the NQ. Thanks, Lars. Up 400 already, huh? Not anymore. Yeah. Vix, the thing here is like you have so many reversal signals. This is gonna be a scary. It's gonna be a scary time. But ultimately, this is what's making me not want to hold long over the weekend. It's not. I don't know. I might just like risk to reward some. And it won't even be risk to reward if volatility just goes like this and then that afterwards. But I don't think you'll see this. I think it'll be closing at the low I think it will close at the low, and this will have to be a risk to reward type of thing because it's showing you that pathway down. So it's going to be risky there. No confirmation either to try to say, like, oh, yeah, this is the time we're going to take out this high. But we have a ton of gaps for volatility. Oh, wait, we're doing the Qs, right? Hey, there we go. Well, you have to consider what just happened. Okay, so why would Wall Street want to see an upside move? They're trying to take all the shorts money that piled on shorts at the lows, and Wall Street was taken off guard by this move. So if Wall Street is taken off guard by this move, they're going to snap that move the other direction. That does happen a decent amount of time, especially as you go directly up into Opex. They were taken off guard by this. Remember our monthly expected move? Remember the second standard deviation? They were taken way off guard by this. They did. Wall Street genuinely thought we were done here. Actually, it was right here. Wall Street was like, we're done. And then more news came out from Donald Trump's, mouth. Liberation Day or something. So. And now they're trying to most likely convince people it's super mega bullish. So showing a sell on a Friday before a weekend might convince too many retailer people to get out. Ah, there goes my $400. It's a risky trade. You're trying to do the pennies and dimes. Yeah, it's just testing that top level. You actually don't want this to happen. This implication now is we just rejected. You see that, right? You just rejected. Then you rejected, and so that's saying we might need to test this low. If we fail the test of the low and we break further, that's how you end up keep rolling, right? So now we might go test this. That would be, you have 5 minutes to do it, so I'm not leaning towards it. You could come down to like here maybe in 5 minutes. That's not a good wick though. That's not good. Watch it just sell off tomorrow and the 30-minute divergence gets it right during a squeeze. That'd be hilarious. Okay, we're fine. I don't know what happens overnight. I think you have potential to see a big move in the morning in some way, and then it just leaks higher over time. Kind of like this move, right? You see some kind of big move in the morning or even gap up, and then you kind of slow grind that up to try to get to 525. So like boom, maybe retest a little bit, then you just start to do that staggery move up. We'll see though. I want to blow past here. I want to see that close above here. That'd be a great hint going. That'd make the trade much more comfortable. Stocks that are struggling right now seem to be Tesla sort of struggling. Amazon's really struggling. Nvidia not really struggling. AMD pretty solid bounce actually coming maybe. Like that would be pretty solid place right there. Meta risky for Meta. But man, we'll see. I think Microsoft seems risky. There's a lot of risky ones. Google looks okay. Actually, no, Google gave up this point. So if it rejects from there, hopefully you get a gap up tomorrow. Then you just see that sell off next week. Gold's in a rough spot right now. Which is that gone up? Yeah, gold is going to retest something like 300, if not 298, like where you're going to right now, but looking at gap fill as well towards 300. We'll see if it rejects from there. GLD, that is. Is that a script? Is that a crazy move? Let's see. Is that a crazy move? What, 290 what? Oh, that was a crazy move. That was a crazy move. Okay, for the week, you're trying to come back. You're coming back in the weekly expected move now for GLD. Sorry, I didn't look at that. And you have divergence there too, so that means you could have a 2-hour crossing up now. That means the 2 hours, if it does go all well and gets past 300, you're looking at a test of maybe 305 for GLD. That's how I see it right now. Yeah, but a lot of the Mag 7 is just like red as fuck. Why is AMC up 2%? GME still doing GME things, holding. Needs to keep holding and see that craziness start. This squeeze is like a pea that won't stop for the SPY. We'll go over it too. We'll go over it a little bit tonight. I won't be able to do a full extensive video. I was trying to show off like what I see as opportunities. You've seen some of those levels get tagged. That's why we talked about like all of them, a lot of them at least, to show certain levels. So weekly moves are definitely not going to be the there you go. All right, there's your nice surge at the right at the end. Weekly moves here, it's a difference in the environment. And you got news that was unexpected. So when you get something unexpected, you can see unexpected things, right? So the weekly move, it would have been nice to use this as support. You're actually seeing multiple stocks use their monthly or weekly move as support over here, I believe. I need to double check, but yeah, a lot of the time you try to use that area as support. You only use it as support like once, that area, that 580 to 581. You only used it once. I wanted us to go use it like today, see if something sharp, then we start to just build up over time with some news. But we're just going to look more squeezy than that. Let's look at the SPY real quick, and then I'm going to hop off and we're going to get to it. SPY was able to take out this level. Qs weren't yet, but my goodness, look at that. Bam. 590.33, took out the level. Wow, it's running too a little bit in the after. And a little curl up to give you some hopium down there. A little curl up here. A little divergence down there. Ooh, no divergence. I lied. All right, guys, so I'm going to take a serious look at these things. We're going to calculate those daily expected moves. Patreon members, make sure to check into Patreon later tonight so you can get the daily expected moves. All right? Bink! And, wow, those cue calls look pretty good. All right. So we'll see what happens in the morning, right? We'll try to pay attention to these things, pay close attention to our daily expected move tomorrow, and I will put that out here on YouTube in just a little bit when we make tonight's video. We will also make sure to post that to Patreon for you Patreon members out there. We'll give you the second standard deviation just in case you see something crazy, like if the second standard deviation for the SPY for the day is 595. It kind of tells you like, hey, you might experience something crazy and 595 could get tagged. That would be pretty freaking solid. So we'll be watching that for you. But thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, doing all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys so much. And I will see you guys in a little bit on YouTube to get you guys some updated daily expected moves and talk about tomorrow and possibly some risk of holding over a weekend. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. Peace.